Hey guys, Baron here, back with another video. Now last week we covered the top 5 steel types, so this week we're going to move on and cover the top 5 rock types. And of course, as you know, I will not be using any legendaries in this list, because as you know, I'll be saving those for our top 10 legendaries at the end of the series. But if your guys' list include the use of legendaries, then by all means just go right ahead and include them. And of course, put your thoughts in the comment section below, put your top 5s, I would love to hear them, and get a discussion going. Also, of course, hit the like button, your support goes a long way. But with that being said, let's get right into it. Coming into number 5 spot is, in my opinion, the most OG rock type out there, and that is Onyx. Now, ever since I laid my eyes on Onyx, I thought that this thing was so powerful and so cool. And that kind of surprised me, given that Onyx isn't actually that good a battler. It's actually pretty shit. If I'm not mistaken, it has the same defensive stat as an Oddish, which, if you think about that in realistic terms, that's kind of weird to me. I don't know, but Onyx is definitely up there with my favorite rock types, and I think that is because of the nostalgia factor running into this thing as Brock's ace in the first gym of the counter region, and just seeing how powerful this thing is. And you know, once you have a level 14 Charmander, this thing is really the most powerful thing you've ever run into with the game so far, and then you know that shit is gonna get real from now on. But you know, just think of that nostalgia factor, and I think because of that originality, Onyx deserves to be at the number 5 spot in this list. Now, the first fossil mon to make it onto this list is Armaldo, and as you know, I'm a Hoenn fanboy. I grew up with Ruby and Sapphire, and you got the choice between Cradily and Armaldo. And when I looked at Cradily, it was kind of like, well, this thing is kind of cool, but it's not really dinosaur-like, if you get what I mean. I always liked my fossil mons to be sort of dinosaurs, and you will see that later on with this list. But Armaldo definitely was that. I know it's not technically like a lizard; it's actually kind of a bug. It's a shrimp, if I'm not mistaken. But when I was a kid, I didn't care. It looked like a dinosaur, and it was a cool thing. And I just picked it up when I was playing through Hoenn for the first time. I loved it ever since, and it's really great mon. I mean, it's not the greatest competitive. You can definitely rock it competitively. I was actually gonna pick it up for PSL Season 3, but then I got sniped for it. God damn it. But yeah, it's actually kind of a decent mon. You can rapid spin on it, and it can be that sort of mon, and it's decent enough, you know. But it's primarily because of the design, and again, this nostalgia factor I have for Armaldo really gets it up here on the number 4 spot. So yeah, Armaldo's number 4. Now, making to the number 3 spot, we have Mr. Godzilla himself, Tyranitar. Now, talking about dinosaurs, this thing really is a dinosaur, and this thing is really cool. I mean, when I first looked at this thing, it was such a powerful beast, I thought, and it's just so cool. Rock and Dark type, it shouldn't work on paper, but it actually kind of works. It has some many weaknesses, but with Tyranitar's the different play styles, and him kind of being a really defensive mon, and the damage that he deals out, it's not really as much of a problem as you would think it is. And it stands out amongst the pseudo legendaries. You have a bunch of dragon types. Then you have Metagross, which I talked about earlier on earlier lists. It actually made it on the top 5 psychic types and top 5 steel types. But Tyranitar, it's just so cool, and it's just a beast in my opinion, and it's scary and intimidating, and that's what a powerful mon should be. And I think better than most mons, really, Tyranitar evokes that, so he's number 3 on this list. Now, going all the way from generation 2 to generation 7, we have Lycanroc, and I didn't expect to like both Lycanroc forms as much as I do. When Korokoro Paper leaked the Midnight form of Lycanroc, I knew I was going to use it from day one. It was just so cool to me, and it being a werewolf Pokemon, that's something I've always wanted, and Lycanroc was that. And you know, when I first played through Pokemon Moon, I picked up Lycanroc Midnight form. I had a lot of fun with it, but when I played through Pokemon Ultra Sun, I decided to pick up the midday form. And when I used it, it was so much fun because it has such great speed, it has a great attack stat, and really both forms are great at what they do. I haven't used Dusk form as much as I would like, but I'm definitely planning on using that at some point in some competitive formats or whatever. But Like a Rock really is that sort of, it's a werewolf, but it's also a trusting friend, a canine friend, which I really like. And yeah, it shows that even in Generation 7 you can produce cool mons. So yeah, Like a Rock is number 2. Now, I talked about that I liked dinosaur mons early on with Armaldo and Tyranitar, and therefore it should be no surprise that the number 1 spot here today is Tyrantrum. Now, I've always wanted a T-Rex mon. I've loved dinosaurs since I was a kid, and I've always wanted to study dinosaurs, which I didn't end up doing, but it was one of those childhood dreams. And based on that, I've always loved dinosaurs, and when Generation 6 came out, and I saw Tyrantrum being a fucking T-Rex, I fantasmed. There's no better way to put it. And I used it, and it was so much fun. It's just, it lacks defense, but it makes up for it threefold in terms of attack. And this thing destroys, let me tell you. Based on that, it's a rock and dragon type. It has a few weaknesses, but that doesn't matter. It's got such a great attack stat. It's really, really useful. And beyond that, it's such a fun mon to use, because who wouldn't want to use a T-Rex to run through your enemies and destroy them? I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? That's every boyhood dream come true ever. And Tyrantrum really represents that, and I think just introducing that T-Rex mon into Pokemon, making that dream come true for me, and I believe for so many other fans, it was such a great thing for Game Freak to do, and such a great design to complement that as well. And it really made Tyrantrum perfectly. So I have no complaints about Tyrantrum. He's number 1. I love this mon. Yeah, he deserves to be at the number 1 spot of our top 5 rock types. So guys, that about does it for our top 5 rock types. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button. Your support goes a long way, and of course, subscribe if you have the time, and hit that bell so you get notifications of when I upload and what I upload. And for next week, we're gonna move on to cover the top 5 fairy types. So I hope you guys stick around for that. With that being said, I'm gonna get the hatchet out of here. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Before, until, and after I see you next time though, stay awesome.